Police in Munich have arrested a suspect accused of driving into a union demonstration, injuring dozens of people. The suspected attack happened just hours before Vice President J.D. Vance arrived in Munich to discuss the war in Ukraine. So I want to bring in CBS News foreign correspondent Holly Williams to talk a little bit more about this. Holly, what do we know about this incident?
Good morning, Vlad. Well, German police say that at least 28 people were injured, including some children, some people seriously, after that man drove his car into a crowd at around 10:30 this morning local time at a square near downtown Munich. As you know, world leaders are gathering in Munich today ahead of a security conference tomorrow, including Vice President J.D. Vance and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. The police say that they fired a shot at the car and then detained the driver, who they say is believed to be a 24-year-old asylum seeker from Afghanistan. Now, the governor of that region, Bavaria, said that the incident is suspected to have been an attack. The crowd was gathered there for a protest organised by a union. Now, Germany goes to the polls for a national election in just over a week. Immigration is already a key issue, and this incident will likely play into that at that national election.
Wow. All right. We'll be tracking that throughout the next couple of days, Holly. Let's pivot to a discussion that we started yesterday about Ukraine. As you know, President Trump spoke with both Vladimir Putin and President Zelensky of Ukraine this morning. He posted that he feels that a deal can be reached to stop the war. As you can imagine, there is mixed reaction to this. First, I want to play, Holly, for you, sound from the former ambassador to Ukraine, Bill Taylor. Listen to what he had to say.
I think there's a real possibility. All sides want it. The Russians are hurting. They need to stop this war. They've got incredible economic problems. The Ukrainians obviously want to stop this war, and Europeans do, and the United States does. So, yes, I think there's a real possibility this war could end this year.
All right, so folks want the war to end. That's clear. But Holly, this is a post from former National Security Advisor John Bolton, and it says in part, it is unconscionable to allow Russia to assault Ukraine's sovereignty, recruit enemies like North Korea to aid in their fight, and then sell out the Ukrainians by conceding the loss of their territory and NATO security guarantees or membership. By making these and other concessions before negotiations even started, Trump has effectively surrendered to Putin on Ukraine. I saw another post from Ambassador Bolton, Holly, where he said that the Kremlin is drinking vodka straight from the bottle after hearing from President Trump yesterday. What are you hearing from your sources on the ground about this?
Well, look, President Trump sounded very positive, didn't he, after that phone call with Putin? The Kremlin said that the phone call lasted nearly 1.5 hours. I think here's the problem for Ukrainians. What kind of ceasefire will Trump and Putin negotiate, and will it actually bring a lasting peace to Ukraine? I mean, yesterday, the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, said that while the US supports an independent Ukraine, it does not support NATO membership for Ukraine with all the security guarantees that that would bring. The US, he said, would not contribute soldiers to any international peacekeeping force in Ukraine. And he also said that returning Ukraine to its pre-2014 borders was, quote, unrealistic. So as a result, some Ukrainians fear that a ceasefire negotiated by President Trump could involve handing over part of their country, part of their territory to Russia without the security guarantees they want to stop Vladimir Putin reinvading, doing it all over again in a few years' time. If that happened, it would effectively be a huge victory for Vladimir Putin. It would reward him for invading Ukraine and igniting a war that has killed not killed, but caused hundreds of thousands of casualties on both sides. Vlad?
Before you go, and I know this is happening in real time because the news is still just breaking, but has there been any reaction from Brussels? I've seen some statements from European leaders that anything that happens with regards to ultimately a deal happening between Ukraine and Russia, the Europeans would have to be involved and be supportive of it. So what are you hearing on that front?
So look, the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, said yesterday that Europe needs to do more for European security. And we've heard the same thing from European defense ministers, that Europe should do more, that Europe should step up its efforts. But in an interview, a recent interview by Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, he said that any security guarantees for Ukraine need to include the United States.
All right, Holly Williams with that deep analysis for us this morning. Holly, I appreciate you so much. Thank you.